Okay, let's talk ill-gotten gains. Okay, I already spoke to you about deprivation of rights, which is easy to prove just using the law and proving deprivation of rights. If anything kicks into court, it's easy to prove a conspiracy against rights under the color of law based on the deprivation of rights. And that starts with the attorney that you use to pursue your case. Okay, but there's several agencies, civil rights divisions that handle deprivation of rights, conspiracy against rights under the color of law. Uh, FBI, DOJ, I forgot which other ones, and also file for ethics violations. Okay, but the outcome is a return of those ill-gotten gains. What is ill-gotten gains? Can ill-gotten gains be recovered? In a recent ruling, U.S. Supreme Court has somewhat reduced the ability of the SEC to recover ill-gotten gains by considering disgorgement a penalty, effectively applying a 5-year statute of limitations, which was under the color of law interest of the bar, and which is forbidden by law. The U.S. Supreme Court may not have a code of conduct, which is in the interest of the bar, under the color of law, not in the public interest. As I told you, that is a legal term that you could use. Not in the public interest because it's not in the public interest, limiting, putting a time limit on how long you. What if you didn't know? What if you couldn't prove it? And you couldn't because nobody's willing to do it. But anyways, you can recover, and the 5-year statute of limitations clearly not in the public interest. Look that up. Just type in "not in the public interest" in your search engine, and you'll totally understand. That was under the color of law because not in the public interest. What are the penalties for ill-gotten gains? Those are convicted of these offenses or agree to settle them face long fines and penalties as well as possibly prison time. They also required to repay individuals and businesses the money they've lost with interest. Okay. So ill-gotten gains. Okay, so they are after this conspiracy against rights under the color of law is proven and you file with the proper agencies, people ask me if I know of a good civil rights attorney that will handle that, but no, they won't. And then they'll want to take a big cut. So the easiest route and the cheapest route is to use your government agencies. Tell them, hey, do your job. You know this is happening. It's right here, and all you got to do is type in a conspiracy against rights complaint form. And it'll take you to all these different agencies that will help you out with that issue. Okay, remember, okay, they took an oath to do that. Okay, so they got to do that. And not doing that is violating the oath. Oath breaking is a violation of Psalms Prom, leading to serious consequences like loss of purpose, professional repercussions, malpractice, removal, legal penalties, felony impeachment, spiritual consequences, dark power, powers, or native shifts, depending on the context, legal, professional, religious, or the heck? Why did it take me to that? Yes, violating the oath can be a felony depending on the specific and jurisdiction is actions like perjury or advocating overthrow of a government and federal felonies, while laws also criminalize certain oath breaches, potentially as felonies or misdemeanors, leading to removal, fines, or prison time. Okay, so they took an oath to sue on your behalf for that conspiracy against rights under the color of law, for deprivation of rights, and they can get the people who did that to you for violating the oath, because everybody in public service takes the oath. There's the oath of office. There's also the oath of public service, okay? Okay, an oath of public service is a formal promise taken by government officials, employees pledging to support the Constitution, bear true faith and allegiance to the nation, and faithfully execute their duties, ensuring loyalty to the country and its laws, not political figures, and committing to ethical conduct, integrity, and serving the public good. It's a cornerstone of public trust, building individuals to act impartially, avoid corruption, and protect government resources for the benefit of all citizens, for the benefit of all citizens, for the benefit of all citizens. Key components to the oath: support and defend the Constitution, a commitment to uphold the Constitution against all threats, both foreign and domestic, truth, faith, and allegiance, swearing loyalty to the nation and its foundational document, faithful execution of duties, promising to perform job responsibilities well and without evasion, no mental reservations, taking the oath freely without hidden intent to break it. No mental reservations, taking the oath freely without hidden intent to break it. Ethical conduct, committing to integrity, fairness, honesty, and avoiding conflicts of interest, and using public office for no personal gain. Why it matters. Establishes trust. Violations in context. Federal employees must take a standard oath affirming support by the Constitution. Presidential oath. The U.S. Constitution prescribes a specific oath for the President to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution. State and local levels, similar oaths exist tailored to the state laws and Constitution, with core themes of public trust and constitutional support. Okay, okay, so I was talking to you about them putting time limits, a statute of limitations on collecting for ill-gotten gains. And I told you that wasn't in the public trust. Okay, what? They're making laws. Okay, society system is governed and controlled by corporations. Corporacy or corporacy is an economic, political, and judicial system controlled or influenced by businesses, corporations, and corporate interests. So that was in corporate interest, which is in the interest of the bar, because the corporations are paying the bar to say, hey, just ignore this doing what's in the public interest thing. We're legally supposed to do what's in the public interest, but we're not going to do that because, we can make some big bucks and we could lose money and, so we are not a corporacy, but our officials act as if we are. So that's under the color of law, okay? So we are not a corporacy, we are a democracy. And there's plenty to be said about a corporacy. But considering that violates the oath, violates the basic obligations of public service. The basic obligation of public service center on placing loyalty to the Constitution, laws, and ethics above personal gain, requiring officials to act impartially, avoid conflict of interest like accepting gifts or using non-public information for private gain, use public resources responsibly. Key duties include maintaining integrity, ensuring efficient service, upholding the rule of law, promoting equal opportunity, and avoiding actions that suggest ethical behavior or waste, fraud, and abuse. Public trust. Public service is a trust. Employees are prioritize the public interest over their own. Okay. Public service is a trust. Employees must prioritize public interest over their own. Loyalty and law. Loyalty to the Constitution, laws, and ethical principle comes before private gain. Key obligations. Avoid conflicts of interest. Do not hold financial interests to conflict with your duties or use non-public information for personal gain. Impartiality. Treat all individuals and organizations fairly without preferential treatment. No private gain. Do not use public office or resources for private benefit. Gift restrictions. Do not solicit or accept gifts from those seeking official action from your agency. Honest effort. Perform duties diligently and efficiently. No unauthorized commitment. Do not make promises that bind the government without authority. Stewardship. Conserve government property and resources. Citizen responsibilities. Satisfy your own financial and legal obligations like paying taxes. Appearance of impropriety. Avoid actions that create the appearance of violating laws or ethical standards. They must violate just even the appearance of, let alone breaking these laws, violating these ethics. Broader responsibilities. Rule of law. Uphold and enforce laws impartially. Equal opportunity. Adhere to laws ensuring equal treatment for all. Transparency. Promote open government and report waste, fraud, and abuse. I said you can find the basic obligations of public service with many of your public service agencies who took the oath of public servitude. They took the oath to serve you. Next time some public official comes banging at the door, if they don't have a warrant, tell them they better be delivering your Uber Eats or get the hell away. That's deprivation of rights. They can't say, hey, just because I got a badge and a gun, I could do what I want. That's deprivation of rights. There are laws, set standards ethically and legally. Nobody can overstep that. That's acting under the color of law, operating under the color of law. It's unethical. Not in the public interest. Okay, not in the public interest means an action, disclosure, or prosecution would harm the general welfare, common good, or social benefit, often used in legal government contexts to justify withholding information, dropping charges, or denying authorization, balancing potential harm like national security, privacy against public benefit like transparency, justice. A key concept of freedom of information laws, prosecutorial discretion, and public interest litigation, signifying a situation where revealing something despite potential public demand you ultimately be detrimental to society as a whole. Key applications, legal prosecution. Okay, so, well, talks about balancing act laws, weighing potential benefits of openness, actions against potential harm, subjectivity. What constitutes public interest can be debated, often involving political, legal, and ethical consequences. But see, people, you are the public. You are we the people. You are the ones that decide what's in your interest. So you could use the basic obligations of public service and call your representatives, whoever they may be, your favorite politicians, and even if they aren't, and you're in their district, even that's your public servant, even though you didn't vote for them and they won. Challenge them to live up to the oath. Violating the oath, is a criminal law, is a criminal act. Violating the basic obligations of public service is a criminal act. Violating the rule of law, them not doing what's in the public interest is violating the rule of law. So many laws are breaking, and I've gone over a couple of them, which in this short video, hopefully it's short. Okay, but remember, it's mandatory. Let's see. Legally, being in the public interest requires officials and entities to act for the general welfare, focusing on justice, rights, the common good, often by advocating for disadvantaged, protecting the environment, ensuring fair governance, providing essential services like safety, education, healthcare, and promoting transparency with specific duties like upholding laws, preventing corruption, and using public resources responsibly. The concept empowers authorities to use discretion areas like waiving Freedom of Information Act fees. That's called a fee waiver. You can get that anywhere, a fee waiver. Or licensing, balancing private interest and broader social benefits, and often involves litigation, policy work, or community education. And that's what legal reform is about, community education. I do nothing but public service announcements, basically. Key legal areas of legal requirement. Government officials must act impartially, avoid conflict of interest, protect public property, uphold laws, service the public good over private gain. Public service essential workers legally obligated to provide vital services like law enforcement, emergency response, child protection, courts, and infrastructure. Legal system, public interest law, lawyers represent unrepresented groups, poor minorities, disabled, and causes civil rights, environment, and health to ensure access to the justice and challenging system issues. Media and broadcasting, historically, radio and TV stations are licensed to serve the public interest. Convenience of necessity, requiring them to provide balanced, informative programming, like PBS. Examples of the public interest actions: disclosure. Governments must release information like under the FOIA, Information Freedom of Information Act. It significantly contributes to the public understanding of government operations. Advocacy, advocating for affordable housing, consumer rights, disability access, or environmental protections. That's mentioned in the public trust doctrine. Policy, developing legislation in social justice, public health, or education. They should be teaching you the laws like I do. Representation, legal aid, providing services to low-income individuals. The public interest standard. It acts as a guide for discretion, allowing judges and officials to make subjective decisions based on what benefits society broadly, not just individuals. It's a deliberately broad term that courts interpret balancing individual rights against the collective well-being. So you can do your research, fact check. I know some people hate fact checkers, so well, be one yourself. All right, wish you a good day. May your Creator always be with you and rain many blessings. I wish you nothing but a long life and good health. Have a good night.